Okay, let's get started, and I'm going to need to uh, like copy any leak address and kind of send it over. We got that running. Okay, let's see. Yep, my thing is coming up. Let's see. No, no, wrong Discord channel. Need this closer to my mouth. Let's see. I don't really need this. Well, maybe I don't know. I could. Where is it? No, no. I have so many tabs. I need to like clean my tab thing. Let's see. Hmm. Yes. Streaming. Whoops. Streaming music. Okay, I know this on kind of like the low end, or at least for me, because I don't know. I don't know. Most likely for like I do this for myself so that I could at least hear myself think through the process. Okay, let's see. Ooh. Okay, yeah, I'm getting distracted by all the cool stuff I see. Let's see. Oh, where's the one that has like self promotion? It's like Samson's thing. Let's see. No. Self promo. It will be like in self promo. Okay. I should probably like change the banner so that it doesn't just like lead to like stuff like that. Honestly, in fact, like we may even like start with like some character sketches. I don't know, whatever comes into mind. Let's see. If only there was a bot that kind of like sent in like one thing per time. Let's see. Oh shoot. I do not know why that's off. But let's gonna like probably keep it to like something similar. Who knows? Maybe you'll help me like figure out what I'm going to do like for the future because I've been having like this background like let's see like this background for a while and it would be cool to like do a new one. Let's, but yeah, let's start like with something simple. Head. Hmm. What am I thinking? What am I thinking? It always starts with a circle. You know what? I'm thinking Dragonborn. You know, like Dragonborn with like a thick neck. Here, let's have him do this and let's see. Yeah, I've been like working on like something Dragonborn, but I don't know. That's kind of like a commission. Let's see. No, that's not how that works. Disco, disco. Actually, wow, this guy's really thick so far. But I kind of do like it having it be like just I don't know, just something that I just flow with because that's usually how my daily sketches go. I draw what's inside or like what's coming up and or like something that I've been wanting to do for at least a day. Ooh, wait. Hmm. I mean, it doesn't necessarily need to be a scaly for this. An idea that I kind of like thought about is doing a bowl, so I'm going to bring up a again like with all these tabs. Let's see. Actually, I'll probably need to like do like another window, new window. Let's see. No. Spanish bowl. Because I'm kind of like thinking bowl all of a sudden. Ooh. And one thing that I kind of want to do is something a little bit more stylized, kind of like that Disney style. But I don't know. It's kind of like me. With me, I kind of like having like things being original as well as like I don't know, kind of like soft and accurate. Like, let's see. We have like this here, kind of like this option. Very, very strong. Very like strong chops. I can like see like his head like going up, or like kind of like his neck just. I don't know. Like this is all like the back of the neck, like the things that we barely look at, or the things that suffer every time whenever we have a bad posture. So I'm gonna do like something like that, like exaggerated. I don't even know like what they're called, but also kind of like a big head. Got this going. Now for these things, which I mean, they were both. I mean, both kind of like. I don't know. No, let's keep it a bust. I don't want to like go too far. I'm here to drop in. Hey, thank you. Yes, doing my classic like, you know, sketch art that I show. Now this is a little bit too long. Let's see. Okay, okay. This also kind of goes up a bit. Yeah, and we'll like add these as well. Or kind of like even we'll do a stronger version, or like just an extreme version. Let's see. This seems a little bit too wide. Yeah, I mean, one thing about like bowls is that like I don't know, they don't have like, they're not even like they're not like this. Well, they're more like this. So I kind of want to emulate something like that while adding like my own flair. Kind of like something still cartoony. Ooh, there we go. We got some nostril action going here. Big and burly. They have like small mouths that kind of droop over, but still a strong. Let's see. Add some hair things over here. Maybe erase this. I do like the idea of his head like being really flat. And let's kind of at least like do something with the eyebrow, so I get like something of his character, like. There we go. We got a scar going, and I like doing like this, being like very wide eyes or kind of like very far apart, because I mean, well, they're like completely on the side. I mean, remember, animals don't follow the same rules as humans, biologically speaking. I'm going to add like something more square. And no, they're a little bit too low. Let's try something else. I mean, I'm going to. Let's do these. Kind of like I want to like expand on like, you know, like on like these being like the eyebrows. very thick eyebrows. Not just like the eyebrow like actual hairs, but like the eyebrow, like brow, like the actual muscles. Now it just looks like a lizard, but so I'm going to change that. There we go, we got a bridge of a nose. Okay, I think I did the nose wrong. You have like big nostrils that kind of like go up here, as well as like I don't know, kind of like a heart shape. There we go. And little hairs here. Honestly, I've fallen along with in love like with this brush. For some reason, like I usually like do something like this, or even like oh man. Let's see. Ooh, I like this idea. But let's do this. Ooh. Okay, yeah, we're getting there. I'm seeing a bull, like not just a happy-go-lucky bull, a bull. And the mouth is like still flat. Now if I did that, it would look like that he's more annoyed and mad. I could add like, now he looks like he's smiling. I want that scowl to be like there, like, ooh, wait, I just remembered, like it's something that all bulls have. Well, sometimes, I don't know, like I could add this, a nose ring. Does that one, okay, that seems like a little bit too big. Now, actually, I'm gonna go like all out with like the size, because in character design, you kind of have to like especially in like designs like these, you need to kind of like let's say expand on it, or like like make things like go things to like the extreme. I need to take a class on stuttering. But one thing I'm going to do is we can add these cheekbones. Adding cheekbones would be nice, like it does, but it seems like he's now old. Let's see. Again, adding these wide. Oh my word. Oh my word, adding that's kind of like adds like like more muscle now, but it does make it look like that he is looking, that his body is facing you, which honestly I wouldn't mind. Let's see. Let's see. Now for the horns. There's a reason why I didn't want to. Oh, I mean, I'm a fan of horns. It's just that sometimes horns just, I don't know. Okay, one thing I noticed is that, like, his head kind of like still like follows a form, and it kind of like still kind of goes back a bit, even though it is like very strong. It's been a while since I've drawn bulls, especially like straight from reference. Yeah, we'll even like at these to kind of like imply that these are that. And we'll even like add like that weird thing that that animals have where a bit of the nose kind of like dips. We'll even like add something like this. Kind of like things to tell you the depth or like give depth to this. Maybe slant this. Slant and shrink. Because you kind of like add to the masculinity of like this bowl. And kind of like give it a slant. So it kind of sells the whole roundness of like the thing. Because it's still gonna be round. Let's see. Could like go like all the. Oh yeah. Yes. We're doing this. We're doing this as a character design thing. I'm going to basically go all out with these horns. I like doing this because it seems like part of the skin. I need to find like a stand or something for like this camera because now it follows, now it doesn't. Now it follows because yeah. Okay. The only thing I could think of is like one of my phone stands, but the clamp just doesn't work. Don't worry. Yeah. And again, this is a start of a new a new sketchbook file because every month, or at least I try to do this every month, I basically like change because I have like sketchbooks of like, you know, and it doesn't really matter if you do Krita or Photoshop or even like Procreate, but I just like keep it on one file. That way it's kind of like easier and less messy to deal with. And besides, the only thing, and honestly, like I think the only thing that like would make it good is that like honestly I think you can probably like do that like do that as an animation or like as a slideshow. Like let's see. Well then. I wonder what the storyboarding. Oh, okay. No, there's no difference. Okay, there's no difference. But it does help. Maybe I should use this a little bit more when I'm doing storyboards. Let's see. Big paint. But still, this is kind of like, and I'm kind of leaning more into the angular, cartoony side, like kind of like cartoony style, like kind of like, you know, very expanded traps, because I mean this is practically meant to absorb whatever happens or like whatever shocks, and kind of like, I don't know, the big neck, and doing it like this, I don't know, doing it like a sharp jaw. But I'm going to add just a bit of this. Just a bit of this. And when doing this, because this still should show, and I'm going to have like this kind of like be like this because the throat should show, or like at least because you know like how like your not, let's see, trachea, brachia, yeah, I think it's your trachea, right around like where your voice box is. That area is rounded, and it kind of like sticks up, kind of like building into like whatever double chin you have, you know, the area behind the chin, because that's the thing that sticks out. That sticks out like beyond like these muscles, beyond the neck muscles. Also note that, let's see, well, okay, I'm getting sidetracked. I had to kind of like at least do this. And let's give him like a little tough hair. this tuft of hair, because I mean this is an animal, and also you can kind of like see like some of that. If anything, this is kind of like more of a study of anatomy, and you're kind of like studying with me. And also, and I like doing sketches more than actual finished pieces, because I mean, when you finish them, you kind of like suck the life out of them. You know, everything feels too perfect at that point. Which is why I'm probably going to do at least a white background and some minimal coloring. But I want to like, I don't know, I want to do some design, like I mean, like what I did with the rooster. Let's see. I think I need to lift this up. Shoot. This. Save here because I don't want to do all this again. Well, I don't know what. It's more like I am going to do more of this like all over again. It's just that, well, when I do, I'll completely change. It'll like change, and then I'll be like, oh, maybe I'll like get the whole like, well, I should have probably done this, even though like the journey is the art. Let's see. I'm adding this because it wraps around, but then hold on, doing this wouldn't probably like work. Kind of like a dip, because I'm still trying to make it like not cartoony, but you know, like so. Okay. Oh, I just realized it looks kind of like a mask. Like it looks like one of those masks. This guy is like rough, but firm, and kind of like maybe, I don't know, definitely like tough. And I tell myself I'm not good at art. Wake up, Atlas. You're making a full character with story. Yeah, even though the art industry is kind of like, I mean, a lot more cutthroat than blue collar jobs. Shout out to all the blue collar jobbers. You sustain everything. But I don't know. It's just like this is the field that I feel like God kind of like shows the most through me. And honestly, it would be practically a sin to not indulge in that desire, indulge in that gift. Remember the parable of the talents. The servant that got his butt whooped was the person that didn't use what God gave him. And I have to use what God gave me for, I mean, all for His glory. Okay, yeah, I don't like how I'm allergic. Okay, yeah, you do that. You do that. Once he did. Walk my dog time. Yeah. And that's the thing about these kinds of art streams. They're kind of like more like lurking. More like lurking streams. I mean, let's see. Like, I can imagine myself, like, whenever I do streams, well, no, not whenever I see art streams, usually Aaron Blaze, the thing that I do is, like, I just simply watch and kind of, like, do art myself. You kind of, like, listen in, like, what he is saying and somewhat implement. Sometimes I'm drawing, like, what he is drawing. Sometimes I'm drawing something else, like, for, like, the character one. Okay, we got something, and I haven't done the eyes, but let's do these kinds of eyes. Let's kind of go more here. Yeah, this side needs to be. Definitely a whole bunch going on here because of the nose. Probably need to darken this. Here, and we got kind of like something going on. But now let's tell a story. Let's tell a story with this character. Like, you know, what does he want? What does he feel? What is he doing? Where's he from? I mean, should probably go into more of the character design. Who knows? Because I have a lot more fun like drawing characters like these rather than animating them. With that animating them, like I kind of like feel like discouraged somewhat. Oh, hold on, give me a second. Okay, let's go back. Okay, yeah, but for a second I thought this song wasn't started, but okay. So we got this bull character, and it's kind of, and I know it's kind of like fun to like at least like get this part done, but I want to do more. I want to like go beyond, and in fact, we'll even like build up some of his body because of that. So I say Spanish, and I said Spanish, and I one time did a Minotaur like, you know, bullfighter. I know, ironic. But I just did that because, I don't know, I just thought it would be interesting. Look at these. As if he's done stuff with these horns. Okay. Like, one thing that we could do is add an eye patch. Like, you know, we can darken this. But I've done that like so many times. I want to do something else. Why are you Wait, what's going on? Like, over? Why are you stinky? Yeah. Oh. Yeah, that will be something interesting. But this one looks. I mean, he looks like I know he's like a bull, but he looks masculine to a point where like he would groom himself. Like, you know, I'm gonna get rid of these. I'm gonna have him like continuous traps. Like, and who knows? I could, and I Atlas Stimkey. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying. Yeah, I'm just trying to do like a. Okay, Atlas Stimkey. Oh wait, are you talking about like these? They're supposed to be like light things. Let's see. Nope. Art. Room. Like these things. It's supposed to be like one of those like one of those like light things that I have in my room. And what I did was basically have like masks everywhere. But again, one of the things that I want to do in the future is kind of like, you know, do a better room. A better waiting room. Let's get rid of this. Let's see. I'm thinking about like what I could add to him besides more body. I'm just joking. I mentioned, yeah. It's a common teasing word. Oh, well, I'm not. I don't go. I'm not on the internet too much. The stuff rots your brain. And me breaking into that Scottish accent made me think about doing other. There are Hylian bowls. I should probably done something like that. I'll probably like do it in my free time, but anyway, I'm gonna go back to walking my dog. Okay, BRB. Yeah, Scottish have Hylian bowls. I should probably do more of those. Those are adorable. Those bowls are adorable. With all that wet fur, and I wouldn't have to like worry about their eyes because all their eyes are covered. I can see when like wearing a basketball, like I don't know, a team jock like shirt. What happens if I get rid of this? Yeah. I'm trying to like go on the angle, like I don't know, like this is feline, this is bull, this is dragon. But either way, yeah. I don't know, I'm just like messing away. Let's see, let's see that. I'm gonna look up Gladiator. Oh yeah, speaking of Gladiator, apparently they're making an Odyssey movie, which I am excited for. Let's see. Roman Gladiator. Let's see. They have I'm honestly surprised because I'm like seeing the Gladiator helmets and they look fascinating. They're not like let's see. They're not like the stereotypical like, you know, Greek inspired helmets. Like they're like it's like fencing gear but made of metal. Which kind of makes sense. I mean, the Romans would want like the face to be more protected. They want those beautiful faces and literal figurines. Fun fact, gladiators were like our celebrities. They had action figures. Damn. Okay, I'm going to go like Marcus Gladiator Bible. Okay, wait, no, I'm the wrong image. Like I'm kind of like looking into this to at least get some things turning, get some ideas turning in my head. Let's see. You know, I mean, he's literally called the Spaniard, but he has a softer face. I want something that kind of fits like toughness. Apparently, I think like it's because it's like Roman architecture kind of like went more with the round route, whereas Gothic kind of goes with more of is more angular. I mean, I guess around that time, the Roman Empire was kind of going into a more feminine arc. I don't know, like in a lot of nations, like there's kind of like a feminine trend and then a masculine trend, you know. Or more like a masculine trend that goes into a feminine trend, and then the nation like goes down. Oh. Let's see. What can I draw from this? I feel like I would need to do like do a partial torso, but his horns are so big that I can't like do a full one without cropping them, and I want to see the horns. I'm still. Let's see. Okay, we got these here. These here, kind of like a continuation, or a small bit of a continuation of like. I don't know. I'm literally like kind of like looking. I'm literally like kind of like feeling my muscles around my neck, and usually around like I call these kind of like the anchors. Like it's where like the it's like kind of like where your shoulder ends, or like that bump. I should probably like do look into anatomy builds. You kind of like see how I can like, you know, break the rules with anthropomorphic characters. Because even though I do like it, because I do like it. Word. The more I pull this up, the more it looks like he's like looking at me, staring deep into my soul. Around here. Now, here's something that anyone watching can use to kind of like understand how the shoulder works. Because at this point, it kind of like goes into like this V. It's V here, and sometimes V here, but it's more or less something more like akin to this. Because that's the cavity where kind of like the skin kind of like sinks in. But that's not really shown. He's kind of like doing this thing. He's kind of like, I don't know, his shoulder seems to be up, which I'm going to do that because that's contrapposo. Yeah, that is like contrary to like a straight ahead pose. Kind of one of my favorite like poses, contrappose. And I'm going to do something akin to kind of like deforming it. I mean, that's what muscles are. They literally like work like deformers. I mean, that's why we kind of like talk about like VTuber models kind of like doing that, or like VTuber models like having deformers and stuff, because we are animated. Okay, we got this going, and I am going to go like with the rounder route, kind of. I don't want to really say it, the aura, which I don't like saying, even though it's just kind of like, I don't know. I like doing muscles because, I mean, because everyone looks fat. Everyone's fat. Actually, I think I have an idea. Like we could have these, because I just had a thought about like if I'm not like, I could do like simply a blacksmith. I'm gonna have him be like a blacksmith. Yeah, we're going to add like some scarring over here, kind of bits and pieces of like when like embers I could cut his face. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to do Roman blacksmith. No, I'm not looking for blacksmith god. I'm looking for blacksmith. Okay, we're not really getting much. I mean, honestly, they just kind of like, it seems like that they just kind of like wore kind of like the same stuff. Let's see. I don't know. They kind of like wore like. I mean, I guess it would make sense for them to be kind of like a little bit more calming, because blacksmithing is basically the engineering of like the Roman era. But so I'm going to like just kind of like take my own spin. Oh, that's interesting. Copy image. I don't know if it's even like AI generated or something. Let's see. It's a little bit bigger. Oh wait, I think it's maybe an image of Hephaestus, but ooh, band. Would a band work? Oh yeah, I forgot something. Ears. Yeah, ears. They're very small. So I'm going to, and they're kind of behind. They're kind of like around here-ish. I guess that means I wonder if I should like even like kind of do something more akin to this. It does make his face look deeper. Actually, no, I like this one a little bit better. I'll just kind of like need to, maybe I'll like do something like this. Let's see. Let's do the shapes. Actually, more like. There we go. Kind of like very simple, small ears. Honestly, I think I like forget ears because I kind of like have it be like a reptilian mindset. And let's do something like that. And add just a bit of this. Always do just a bit. Let's add the, yeah, let's even like count. Oh wait. Still doing a strong neck. A bit here. Some scarring here. One thing I don't really like understand is like why they don't really include the collarbone. But then again, like it kind of like, I don't know, the collarbone should at least be a guide. Let's see, like, oh, there's no collarbone here. I guess it's just me because I always like feel my collarbone, but then again I don't really have that much fat on me. This guy has muscle and probably a lot more fat on. Let's add this because this around have these things kind of like extruded out just a bit. Nope, that it's not part of him. Honestly, I love his thick neck. I mean, well, it's better than this. Oh no, that's terrible. That's feminine. We want masculine, like masculine. Okay, let's move this mic around. Now we get to do like kind of like this number. I guess I don't know where this thing is like filling the entire page. And you kind of need to hit a balance because sometimes too much muscle is literally too much muscle. You need to find a balance. And also like a lot of the times we aren't like just we're more like our bodies aren't just squared. Like even though like the main image, like when you're doing like the upper body, where like if I were to like like visualize it, like where like you have the head, we have the head here, kind of this number here, but then we kind of like have this number. It's kind of like all like a bunch of like squares. I mean, we have like VVs, like V, V, V. And the V kind of connects to like, at least this part of it. And now we have like a torso here. We'll even like kind of like do this number. And usually a lot of people like smooth it out. Okay, the head would need to be bigger. See, this looks like the beginning of like his super suit. But back to this Taurus. Minotaur. Yeah, we'll have it. We'll have like his muscles kind of like bulging out, like coming about, like, you know, like his muscles like bulging out. I don't know, maybe he's like kneeling down or sitting, kind of like, is like, what do you, and it's kind of like telling, what do you really want, or like, what are you doing, what are you scheming? That's the feeling, that's the message I'm getting from this guy. Or maybe, I don't know. I've recently been like watching this series about like this guy that like talks about faces, like, I don't know like what it's called. It's kind of like a study of like how to recognize personality and intention from shapes, which I love, and I've kind of like fallen in love with it. He did like Jesus at the time, and I enjoyed that one. Is that like a bit? Yeah, this guy looks rough. Like, you want to appease him, and we're gonna give him, we'll give him like kind of somewhat bulbous and like bulbous and strong pectorals. That's what they're called. I should probably like start like memorizing the names of muscles. My mom did do chiropractic, and my sister's a physical therapist. But the one thing I do want to do is kind of like add that dip I was talking about before. Kind of like adds, I don't know, again, like, you're not all, I mean, there's cavities in muscles. More like the muscles like don't really care about going there, because that's not the point. Okay, let's like at least like freshen up like these areas. Still giving them that bulbous look. Gonna do this because these ears are so hairy that they kind of blend in. I could like do like hair like this, but they're short hair. They're short haired, and they should only like have hair like show up just a bit. Who's here? I don't know, I don't know, like adding these kind of reminds me of like that scene in, oh, I could add like bracelets. But this, I don't know, I just remember like a Bugs Bunny scene, or like a Bugs Bunny moment when, like, you know, he was like, let's see, bullfighting, and like one of the things that like, and like one of the things, or like kind of like one of the gags that came around is that like every time the bull lost, he would like go back and start sharpening his horns, like, you know, as if they're swords. Man, I can't believe I still have that memory. And for good measure, we'll add like some imbalance by adding this one. Like, I don't know, like maybe like you earn it, like, I'm gonna add cracks here. Maybe you earn it or something. I mean, we could like go ahead and just cut this one off for like the disbalance. You know, you kind of like, I don't know, like maybe like when he was forging, something happened and like a sword was launched, or a hammer was launched, and it like cracked his horn. But that But that would need to be kind of like a recent thing if I were to like actually write a story about this guy. Some hair there. Simply because, like, you know, the bulls like regrow their horns. It's not like let's see. It's not like a rhinoceros. Well, actually, I think they all do. Maybe I should do a gladiator rhino. I've been meaning to do like more. Let's see, a little bit more like armor stuff, and I need to probably like, go back into that side, and I'm going to add. I'm gonna add like some like, you know, not inconsistencies, but like things to kind of like set it apart, because I mean each side should be different. I mean that's one of the things like that guy like talked about, was that like you know, each side of the sides of the face are kind of like, you know, are kind of like different. Like I think like right side's kind of like your outside face and kind of like your more active thinking, while the other side is kind of like more internal and like how you feel. It's here. Let's see. Okay. And we can like erase certain parts, like here. Going to this here. Something like this. Okay, we got a bull character. We got a bull character. Now we need to be like sharp with like whenever there's metal. Because like with fur, you can kind of like excuse like the loose lines. But with things like, I don't know, like bone, metal, everything needs to be straight. Kind of like you know, like it. But I can like keep at least some of this. And I am gonna like probably keep it as a sketch. Yeah, I need to do this so that it looks like attached to the horn. Well, they're kind of are. Just finding the shapes a bit. So we'll add like stuff like this, because I mean, if this is a blacksmith, he's gonna have like a bunch of scars from because blacksmithing is kind of like a hard profession. Like we'll do this. I should probably like erase more of these pectorals, because since the fur is going to be black, most likely, I think so, it's going to like kind of like, I don't know. Okay. Let's at least like do something, and I'm going to do like, no, not, what's the group button? The group, Control G. Okay, she'll probably do just a little bit more. Go overboard. I mean, let's at least like see what this looks like. this? By the way, if any of you guys want me to, I am opening commissions, so if you want me to draw something, I will gladly do so. I'll even put it on stream as a commission. The good thing about art is that, well, even though there's no, is that like, even though there is that you know the rules and you can break them. That's art in general. See the world as it is, know the rules, and then you break all. Mentors don't exist. Roman blacksmiths no longer exist. I'm making it. A half bull, half man will be freakier than this elegant specimen. I'm making it as elegant as I can be. Now, don't get me wrong. There is a right way and a wrong way to at least express it. But essentially, you just need to break the rules the right way. You can't say this is the next. You can't tell yourself you're the next Picasso. I can't. I'm still full of flaws, but the only way you can like become the next Picasso is if you go beyond. And I'm going beyond by adding armor and stuff. I went kind of like over with the horns. Note, I am not. Honestly, this is acting more like a lecture. I need to talk about something. I don't know. I'm hoping to like get more things that attract more people. I've heard that doing just chatting may help. Because I mean, well, chatting seems to be the most popular option. I say to, but I don't want to lie. But I don't know. Maybe I'll just like try it at least. Because I am kind of like chatting and kind of like talking. Okay, and I could just like leave right here. This is usually like when a lot of my sketches stop. But I kind of want to like go beyond. And also, I kind of want to at least like have been like working with hair, so it will be cool to like do something like that. And also, doing a black will like hide the sketch marks just a bit, like just enough. And the only kind of like contrast I would need to do is like more. And look, okay, this guy looks like an Angus. So first things first, I'm gonna go with a brown, kind of like a somewhere around here. Let's see. That may be just a bit too much. Again, like I'm not really like. Let's see. If I would have like a lot more. I would literally like have a lot more fun with like hiding cows. Do you believe in ghosts? I believe there is an afterlife, but I do believe that sometimes, rare and unorthodox cases where ghosts do appear, but it will be wise not to mess with them. Not because they're ghosts. Because they're ghosts. Because a lot of the times, some things should just stay where they are. Okay, I mean this is okay. This is telling me is that like is that I need to work more on those. Because when it's white, it kind of like blends with the background. Even though it is kind of like a gray background, I do that specifically so when I do the white background, what about vengeful spirits? The core principle of it is that you can have like so many like strong emotions towards something or someone that like keeps you alive. Honestly, you would need to like have like the vent. Is that a character in D&D? If I was a DM, I would have this character be a character in D&D. I don't know, like a blacksmith that like commissions you into a quest. But this is just a character. I don't know. I don't know. So a lot of these are just going to be, that like let's do something. Let me do something new, or kind of like an excuse to like like to kind of like figure out or kind of like practice my art. Oh my word, that's a little bit too dark and a little bit too brown. I may need to go with like either a gray or more like a gray route. But that's kind of still. Okay. Let's see, we'll do his, and now like change this saturation. He became a shadow. I'm trying to like get this feel, but that will require a lot of like rendering. So kind of to like get a good middle ground. I may need to just like simply do this because at least this gray is good enough. And also it kind of like still allows me to do like to play around with shadows. Now let's do that's going to be a rendering them. It's good. That's going to be rendering where it makes difference. Well, lighting and shadow play. Yeah, that's when it like really like pops out, especially with like black fur or black fur, because whenever you're doing black fur, it seems it's inevitable that you're gonna have like problems because of the shadow situation. But all you have to do is kind of like invest more into like lighting so that it at least gives the still gives the illusion of form. But I'm just simply doing like the flat colors. Oh, like, do this. And honestly, like using black does even like expose like the plot. Black fur or any other materials near black colors is gonna be where like lighting plays to differentiate itself from the other things. Yeah, practically like what happens when we primarily focus on shadows. Like that's one thing I've noticed is that like a lot of people focus so much on shadows that they sometimes forget the lighting, and vice versa, obviously. Let's see, I'm going to color these into something more like this. Dude. Kind of like that yellowy, bony. Oh wait, no. One of the things that kind of got me out of my artistic show was the fact that like even Aaron Blaze doesn't do the whole let's refine the lines to like a specific point. He just kind of like draws, and obviously like it still looks, it still is like a bunch of sketches, but the lines just blend so much that you don't even well, you don't even pay attention to whether or not, like, you know, it's a sketch or not. Like, they're like sketchy lines. Which I do like. I mean, from here, it looks like a full picture. But I do know when I look closely, if it says something closely, I know it's like going to be imperfect. Actually, I should probably do something more like this. And I'm going to do this, and I am going to basically like smoothen this out because obviously, like, you know, the tips are going to be wider because of use. Be cool if he had more piercings. Yeah. True. True. Like a. Yeah, we can add like a bunch of like. Yeah. I don't see why not. We could even like have something like this. Yeah, piercing here, piercing there, piercing that. You know, just like small piercings, like, you know, hooped earrings. Hooped earrings. Maybe a little bit. Is he magical? You know, like symbols or signs that give fire user. I don't know. I don't know. I can see him wearing a tattoo, like a sleeve tattoo that goes, I don't know, or something. But this is like a. But I'm kind of going with a basic design. Who knows? Maybe I'll even like do like if you haven't seen Gladiator, he had a tattoo of like the, you know, of like the Roman mantra, or like a, let's see. SPQR. Senators plus okay. Let's see. SPQ. Yeah, it's a SPQR. Okay, it's like Senators Publius Quantinus Rome, which basically means like, you know, the Senate and the people of Rome. And so I'm going to just add black so that it's there. And now I'm going to erase some of these. And oh. Let's add just a bit, and who knows, maybe, and we'll even like do something like that. We'll do like scarves. What language does he speak? I was talking about like Roman. I first thought like Roman gladiator, but I don't know. But then I kind of like went with you could give him a tattoo with their language. But in essence, if I were to put him into a setting, I would probably pick Latin, or like Latin, or kind of like a mix. Or kind of like I don't know, because back in the day, I say it as like I've been there, but you know, back in those times, like Greek was kind of like the main language, but Latin was primarily used for like, you know, for more official life. It's essentially like kind of like the equivalent of, well, when French became a big thing in England, kind of like causing a lot of our words to kind of like have like a lot of us having like more than at least 2 words for like the same kind of like thing. But again, I digress. But essentially, like let's see, if I had to, I don't know. But one thing, I do like the idea, but I'm going to do like, let's see, okay, let's see. SPQR. Let's see. Senatus Populusque Romanus. Okay. Yes. I could do like, let's see. QR. Tat 2. Lectus in Necros Spiros. Patrone Movable. Let's see. And Did like the Romans even? No, I'm talking movie. It's BQR. I'm trying to find it. It's like nowhere to be found. Like I'm looking for a specific, like like shot. Like what's this? Wow, I just kind of ran into this like probably like this Roman army. Yeah, that's probably a weird form. Okay, let's see. Like one, like let's see. Let's like kind of like okay. S, I'm gonna do the standard S, Q, R, and I'm going to stylize it. Wait, was it even like spelled like this? Probably. And I got these things that I was taught in graphic design school. I barely do that, but what's your thought on the quote center? Hold on, I would need to. Okay, it's been like years since I did like my Latin course, but I can. Let's see. But from what I can, and I haven't translated yet, is that you do something if something is better. Okay, I'm just going to look it up. Like, let's see. If I cannot move heaven, I will raise hell. Okay. Oh. Okay. Okay, yeah, I remember. Honestly, I didn't learn them. I think I did learn about super roles. I did. Like, I know what this one is. It's if. Oh wait, I can't point it. I know what sit means. It means if. Nequal. I didn't know that like if it meant like probably like can't do something. Super roles kind of like means like above, so it can be heaven. But I don't know. I learned that sky was like cereals or something. I don't know. Movable. I know, like knew that was the case. But okay. But I'm around here, and I'm just kind of like, making up a bunch of stuff. Like I don't know, like a eagle or something. I'm gonna put this here and have it be faded. Like as if he's like no longer like subscribed to like the Roman army, like he's a veteran. Like I'm going to do this. I'm gonna do this and kind of like it's too cool. Actually no, I should probably no mesh. I'm going to do this. Yeah, I'll just like do this and kind of like mess around with it. But that's kind of like what I'm thinking. Like he has like a faded tattoo, kind of like something faded. Actually, my name is Marcus Rudy is blah blah blah. Here's my family. We watched that. That was a nice movie. Kind of me and my dad's like, well, my dad's favorite, which is why I can't wait for like something similar to happen. The Odyssey coming out. Back to like at least some color. We're still doing flat color, so I'm going to still like go into here. But what I'm going to do here is kind of like fade in like this thing. Let's see. I should do something more like that. Kind of like fade it in because the nose is obviously going to be like a little bit, either a little bit darker or a little bit lighter. Let's see. I mean, and I'm like in more. Okay, no, it should be like a little bit darker. Wait, oh no, oh that explains it. Let's see, what happens if it? That could work. It's usually kind of like the norm. But oh yeah, and about that quote, I did like that quote. It's kind of like an interesting quote. I'm kind of thinking, what if I did? Oh no. What if I did something more like this? Oh, I like this. I like this a little bit better. Kind of like it. I don't know. Kind of just adds to it. Oh yeah. No, it kind of like makes everything like darker. Actually, I could just like use this tool. But it gives like at least some good contrasts. I'll definitely like do this. Where's it? I am going to do like at least some lighter colors. Definitely around the muzzle. But for now, I'm going to kind of like do like a little bit more lighter colors, like something around like going up to here and kind of like having it go like a little bit yellow. There we go. Just some soft colors. Let's see. Okay. Enjoying this. We'll even like do something. Have the ears be visible. Gonna do something you can do this. So I'm going to at least, oh wait. I'm going to at least see like let's see. Oh yeah. I do like this. Well, what if I made it like darker? Lighter or darker? Like I could do like darker, or I could do light. Honestly, I'm kind of like more in line with like darker, even though it's like very dark already. But this is because like it's the nose. I'm gonna like it. I am gonna go like overboard like with like this. Actually, now okay. I just remembered. Like the nose is kind of like more lighter. Let's see. Maybe even kind of like get rid of this just in case. Ooh, I do like this, but it definitely needs to be a little bit darker. Yeah, I like this. You can't. No. Ooh, yeah. I'm already loving it, and I haven't even like done any shading or lighting. And obviously, I need to probably like, do something like this. I like something to give him a look. Give him that because because he's probably going to be like melanistic at the very least. Let's see. And we can do probably like do at least something gray like around here. Because eyes aren't like 100% like 100% white. If they were, like, we would know, and it would be bad for us. We would get freaked out. It would be like kind of like those uncanny things. So I always like, I'm going to try like something a little bit new, and kind of like add like a little bit dabs of this. And let's see. Let's give him blackish eyes, kind of like a very, 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 very dark, very, very dark gray. Black, but with a hint of red. Very warm. I wonder if there's like a thing where you can like tell the personality by the eye color. But then again, that's a little bit more. Well, yeah, that's also genetic. Face shape is also like genetic, so. But I'm kind of just like talking about like let's see, like can you tell like the personality of like people with brown eyes? Because in real life I have brown eyes. It's just that my favorite color is blue. I should probably like erase something, stuff like. Kind of like add some more fade. Okay, maybe a little bit more contour lines because it's like still like super so dark that I can't really tell like which muscles are which. And like kind of add a dip in some lines. Beauty in imperfection. Add a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Okay. And I'm going to probably be using like this smudging tool to kind of like at least help fit in with like kind of like the furriness. There we go, much better. Thank you. Ooh, we can even like add like bits of this. Oh my god. Like a little bit of stuff like here. And kind of like, like those like misplaced mats. And we'll even, and for like some scars, we'll even like add some discoloration for as a sign of like scarring. There we go. And some like unwarranted scars. We even like checked. Actually, speaking of which. But let's still add the discoloration. Maybe some bigger scars. Some bigger scars. And some things that kind of like show that sometimes the fur covers up bits of those scars. Look at this is good. This is good. We even kind of even do something akin to like a little bit, kind of like something a little bit lighter. Kind of like show that these are eyebrows. Well, we could actually like go darker. Okay, yeah. Since that registers more as a yeah, that works. Black eyebrows seem to actually clock in as like, you know, black eyebrows. Now let's do like at least some color. Some like gold. I always, yeah, let's like go around here. Oops. Something like this, and I'm going to do a different color for like these two, something a little bit more on the gray. Here we'll do like something in here and a little bit of blue. Here we'll kind of go a little bit darker, a little bit more bluer. Kind of sure that they're more like different. And we'll even like add something akin to copper to combine these two. Let's see, copper. There we go. We got oh wait. Can't forget, like, kind of like the one. Should I do silver? Because silver seems a little bit more like industrious, like, whereas gold seems to be a little bit more elegant. I should work on these. Sharpen the contour. You even like add some Yeah, that works. Although I kind of want to at least see what it looks like. At least with the gold. I think I got the wrong thing. Yeah. Well, okay. Let's keep it with gold. Because gold, because it'll help like kind of like pop out up here. And that's for here. I'm gonna do some light check. And we'll do some, and we'll do like some outline. Kind of like system. Like something to kind of show that it show. There we go. More rounded out. Now let's kind of go with yeah, let's do, now let's like go with like the with the multiplier place. And let's kind of go with the classic kind of like, let's do like very warm colors. Like maybe he's like inside his workshop. Trying to figure out. This thing, the fade doesn't like. Something round, and I'm going to like, and I am going to fade this in. There are like just some things that kind of more dip. Yes. Something. More or less adding the, making it round so that it looks like, I don't know, it looks like it's crawling. And no. This is kind of one of my favorites in the list. And already this guy seems like a cool guy to be with. He'll split. He seems to kind of like have like a resting I don't care face, but is willing to split whatever was the equivalent of beer in like Roman times. We'll even like add something like this. And we'll even like add some of these. Just small things where the fur just plumped up in the correct way. Now for the smudge tool. Let's see. Okay, we got that done. Now I'm going to do like kind of like a soft, just something to like sell the roundness. One trick that I have also like like learned is to kind of do some of it a little bit dark, but add like a little bit of a bit where it's like a little bit darker right at the contour. Because you kind of now like make it seem like oh shoot. I hate when that happens. There you go. There you go. When you do this, you kind of like sell the roundness. That's one thing I've seen, which seems to really help a lot. While you're doing that, you kind of like make the darker things that are meant to be darker. There we go. I should probably like still. Oh, I should probably. It's not like a bunch of cards. But contours. And like I said, we can add just a bit of these, kind of like show that, like, that's fur. Just a bit. Especially around here. this one's terrible. We'll do something more akin to this. Just something small. Again, this is kind of like all like, you know, messing around, seeing what sticks. Sticks. At the river in the underworld. I'm going to, for this, I'm going to need to erase just a bit, because I mean that's not really how like shadows work or like light works. There's usually still a whole bunch. Light kind of like, you know, kind of crawls over, and also it's kind of like, you know, at the 3/4. And we can probably like we'll kind of soften it down. It's here. Let's see. These straps don't necessarily need that much rendering, but it's kind of like a good idea to do so anyways. Kind of like, as well as to kind of like show like where there are like curves and stuff. A little bit of shadow here, maybe a little bit of shadow here. And it doesn't. And we're gonna kind of like do this, but instead instead of doing it like this, we're gonna do like something like this, because this is gonna be metal. My finger is already. Maybe I should do something akin to this. Okay, now let's try like lighting. Now we need to be like really careful with this, because if anything and everything could go wrong. Now I'm going to do like a general light, and then I'm going to do like deeper lights. Screen. Oh. Dodge. Okay, I mean, this one's it. trouble like with this. Ooh, definitely for like kind of more sharper stuff. Kinda have to do each muscle. Like small stuff. Oh my word, my little finger is giving me problems. I may need to do like a little bit more like a little bit more like brushing in terms of like definitely going to do a more like kind of like fur stuff. Yeah, rounding him out. Just a bit. Yeah. I love doing this skill that takes lifetimes to perfect. Perfect. Oh, I want to remember like learning about like how like using multiple light sources can really help your art. That's so true even for here. Here, it's a little bit of, and when I will just add a couple here, and even like put in like, you know, let it like go down a bit. Sources of light. Just speckled. Speckled. Even like that. Do some like a rock here. now for kind of like something that maybe just a little bit annoying, but yeah, kind of like just necessary. That way it doesn't look glossy. And I would still follow kind of like the same path of like where the fur is going. See. One thing that I may need to do is kind of like, just because there's kind of like, you know, this thing, it's going to obviously like reflect around here. So kind of like reflection things like that, but kind of just small enough would be good. And yeah, and there's like add like a couple of things. Kind of, so I had that kind of. Some stuff here. Gonna need to probably like do like some shadows there. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I guess I could also kind of like talk about like something that is like very interesting, or like kind of like very useful whenever you're drawing. After you're kind of like done doing that, you don't do that. You start like kind of like doing like a little bit more like stuff like this, something overarching, kind of like an overarching light. An overarching light, as well as an overarching shadow. This is the multiplier. That's the multiplier there. But I'm going to do this in a different color because now we're going to do like another kind of layer. This time kind of like moving to more towards, you know, this is a blacksmith. we're going to do stuff like we're going to do like stuff. Wait, the screen will be better. No, burn. Maybe burn. No, color and burn. Now, if I did screen, I don't know. Maybe I should like go with more like tougher stuff. Let's see. Now I'm going to do something akin to this. Very like sharp colors. Like there are like light sources all over. Yeah, like on the right side. Ooh, I can see it. I can see it. I can smell it. I can smell the ember. Oh wait, no, that turned that. Oh yeah, I need to do this. There we go. We're getting like multiple light sources. Something kind of like coming like something more around here-ish. Like stuff to kind of show for. Or kind of like just around. Oh shoot! I almost knocked that down. Maybe I should. Maybe something I could do is kind of like do something more akin to. Ooh, I like doing this. Oh yeah, and it like contrasts. Yeah, this contrasts a lot better. Like as if like he is like right next to a fire, or is looking at you from within. Ooh, yes. It's been honestly, this is kind of one of my first times where I've done like more light sources. Kind of like all around, even like around here-ish. Even like in like this. Just a bit. Perfect. At times like these, you kind of have to like go above and beyond. And honestly, the more light sources I add, the more it kind of feels like cinematic. You know, like I can see like this person looking down at me as if I've. He looks wise, kind of like Devin. He looks wise, but I don't know, reclusive. here. There we go. Kind of like stuff like that. I kind of went like a little bit overboard here, but nothing that this smudge tool can't fix. Music kind of reminds me of like those cool math games. I'm just gonna do something like this. Almost 2 hours. I need to close this. And now we do this. This is old. Like how simple this is. I mean, remember we kind of like started all the way from like they did like kind of like something like this. And I do love the sketch, but we added color. Now I can see it. Now I can kind of see it. And then we added shade. Now he looks fuller. Added this. Okay, he's in a night stroll, looking down at me. Now, oh yeah, and I should probably do more like around here. There we go. I should probably do something about this. Maybe it's like a bit too much, but again, the idea that I have is kind of like he's in his blacksmith and it's like night outside. But as it gets closer, I should probably like it's just a bit. Still gonna do some up here, but significantly less. You even like add just a bit right there to kind of like at least show the lips. It looks somewhat peaky. Something. Yeah, I'm be saying. Give him like complex eyes. But there's one last thing. And Okay, I kind of don't like the eyes. Like, let's do at least something. Let's do something like this. There we go. There we go. Much fuller. Much fuller. There we go. And honestly, the only thing I can think of doing is like putting him in a. Well, okay, yeah. Let's yeah. I mean, why not? Let's put him in a background, like at least something. Like, well, okay. I'm gonna like try that, and if I don't like it, I'll probably like end the stream here. You know what? I'm not gonna do a background. He's good as it is. I'll probably will in like the future, or maybe like put in an image. But with that, but I'm going to like keep it like that. And I guess like the one last thing I should do is apply the mark of Atlas. Yeah, now my mark is forever there, and I'm going to wait. Oh, I'm going to get rid of this because I am going to take like a snapshot. Actually, but what I am going to do is, okay, maybe I should do at least a background and a gradient. Kind of like you know, let's fill this here. Add some shadows. And some blues. Perfect. I want this to do. There we go. Something small. No, these are the fire lines. See? And just add just a bit while adding just a bit. It's a pretty face. There we go, and we got something with like a simple background. Ugh, man, my fingers are going to feel it today. And one of the next things I'm going to do regarding art is maybe do some more VTuber stuff, or I may skip that day to focus on it, because I'm trying to give you guys the best possible Atlas ever. Kind of like working on stuff. But with that said, I hope you are all having a good night, and good night. I'm going to end the stream like at 2-hour streams instead of 4, well, 2-hour art streams. Because, ugh. Honestly, it wouldn't even matter if I did line art. But I'm gonna do that because, you know, my network isn't not all that good, and yesterday was May the 4th, so I'm gonna say, I don't know, happy May the 4th. I wasn't able to be here because for that. But today is Cinco de Mayo, so I would say like happy Cinco de Mayo. But with that said, I hope you're all having a good night's sleep, and I will see you all later. Godspeed.